So we have four finance people here to bring to us some great information tonight. I'll be kicking this off by talking about financial wellness. The beautiful thing is that the government of Canada actually recognizes and is enshrined in government policy the concept of financial wellness. And it's basically a situation where, you are, will I say, you can comfortably meet all of your current financial commitments and needs while also having financial resilience to continue doing so in the future. So as far as the government of Canada is concerned, they don't just want you to be able to pay your bills. They want you to be able to pay your bills today, tomorrow, and for the foreseeable future. The fact is that there's something called a retirement age. And whether you choose to retire at that age or not, if your mind keeps working, your body is going to slow you down. If your body doesn't slow you down and your mind doesn't slow you down, society is going to say, fella, you're old. Go home and go and take a rest like your mates are doing. So it becomes imperative and necessary to have a plan. To have a plan to protect yourself, to have a plan to ensure that you are in a position to continue to provide for yourself and the people around you on an ongoing basis, irrespective of your age. So that's really why we are talking about this. Andrea, do you want to talk a bit about financial freedom? I know you being a financial advisor will be able to speak to that a bit more. All I'm just trying to do is highlight the fact that this is a continuum.
Okay, so to us, financial freedom basically means that you are having that capability of where you're able to manage your economic life, all the financials aspect of that, and be able to even probably retire early, be able to afford the things that you need to afford without having to stress about money, right? That to us is, financial freedom.
Fantastic. Claudia, do you want to add anything to that?
Well, we like to talk about the quality of life, right? And you realize that stats shows that we have really an income problem here, where we're not generating enough income to really achieve our goals. But with the income that we do have, we want to make sure that it is working for you, and we're not following in the trend of getting in debt and staying in debt. So that's also an area that we focus on as well, is to allow you to get out of debt faster, because that shows that for every $100 that you make, you are spending another $72, whether it be on a credit card or a MasterCard. So if that is an issue, then there must be a solution to that. So we bring to the table what the solution is, so that you can have that quality of life that you really want to have.
Okay. And at the end of the day, quality of life becomes key.
Very much so.
Tayo, do you want to talk about why you need to focus on your money? I know that sounds obvious, but
well, I kind of want to go a bit back and make this conversation a bit more, bring it to my level, right? And the level that I'm talking about is the broke level. Can't seem to get out of this rat race situation. Now, people might be listening to me and they might be feeling, I've done better for myself, and yay, but I have found that with my experience, and I'm going to speak from the immigrant Black mom, and then I also can expand that to immigrant Black single mom, or immigrant Black single dad, or immigrant Black family. You come in here, first of all, to Western world, Canada, US, or maybe Canada, and then it looks like you're starting from a negative. Is it the first credit card you get from CIBC that gives you $10,000 in credit card and they don't educate you properly on how to spend it?
Exactly.
And then you start your life in a debt situation, or the fact that you go student loaning and then you can't get a job because every time you're out of school, there's a recession. Like, so you go to school when the economy is good, and then after the moment you graduate, the recession starts. You know, because that's where I'm at. I can't seem to reconcile, because why do we need to keep an eye on the money? It's important. We all need money. People that tell you that you don't need money, they're lying, or money doesn't make you happy. I'm like, let me become rich first, then I'll tell you if money makes me happy or not. You know, I like to see the other side. I've not seen that happiness, you know, continuum. So my point is, how do we address this issue in a way that is real to us? You know, what do we need to work 3 jobs? And you know, I have friends who are selling Avon, selling Mary Kay, and are nurses. And I'm thinking nurses make more money than everybody else, you know, or doctors who are still in debt. Like, I don't understand. And so that's what's this. I guess what I'm trying to say is, how do we speak to this to us, that in a way that's, you know, because we're not talking of generational wealth here, right? A lot of us are first time or second generation immigrants, such that nobody has given us or passed anything on to us in this new land that we are in. Like, if I was back where I came from in Africa, I'm sure my grandfather left some parcel of land somewhere. But here in Canada, they haven't given me anything. So how do we make generational wealth? Somebody's giving us a comment.
Yeah, Alex says you need to work 3 jobs as immigrants to make ends meet.
And then what happens to your family?
Well, that's why we need to have this conversation, because we don't want the concept of working 3 jobs to be the eternal reality of the immigrant family. We want that to change.
Thank you, Alex, by the way, for that comment.
Yeah. So I'm also going to say we're going to take some questions at the tail end of this. So kindly put your questions in the chat. We will get to them shortly. So Tayo's run through a bunch of reasons why you need to focus on your money. Number 1, as an immigrant, you're kind of starting from a negative, whether you like it or not. Even if you brought all the money from wherever you came from, you find out that your savings get wiped out pretty quickly when you're coming in and you're still trying to find your feet with income and all of that. So those are realities. Those are, you know, realities that we are dealing with as immigrants. Now, in terms of focusing on your money as well, we are looking at, Tayo spoken about education. We are looking at the change in lifestyle. The average immigrant in Canada is somebody who had done well for themselves and then decided to move here either for education or for quality of life or for family. And then suddenly you come here and you are literally starting all over again. Because you want to catch up with that beautiful life you have, there are 2 ways to do it. It's either you fast track it on a boatload of debt, which gets you into trouble, or you take your time and then slowly build yourself back up to that place that you used to be. It just means it will take time. So in terms of focusing on your money, Claudia, do you want to tell us other reasons why there's a need for you to pay attention to your money?
Absolutely. Okay. You really, when you are new in this country and you don't fully understand the money game, it's really important for you to find a professional money manager to help you to understand, right? Because you're new and it's a new language here and there's so many different moving parts. And sometimes this is how you get discouraged because you don't know what to do. So the fact that you're having this forum is very important and I appreciate this, but aligning yourself with a professional money manager that can assist you and guide you in how to make your money work, what registered account to put your money in, where sometimes you could maybe not pay taxes or reduce the taxes, because there are things that are out there for you to use, but if it's not in the proper vehicle, then it's not going to benefit you. So I really just want to stress you sitting down with someone so that they can teach you the difference between an RSP, a TFSA, a savings account versus a mutual fund or a segregated fund. And we're going to be talking about those things in a little bit, but you want to, and I'm stressing this, I stress this a lot, make sure that whatever money that you have left over is in a vehicle that is working for you, because I've already heard that a lot of people are doing 3 jobs. So it means you're working really hard for your money, right? So you've got to utilize what is out there so that it can work better for you.
So I mentioned that we did a tax clinic, and we spoke to a lot of people who are new to Canada, and they and I know this is not everybody's story, but this is a huge subset. So maybe I'm the one that represents that demographic in this our meeting today. And I find that when you start talking about TFSA, RRSP, my CRA account, anything that sounds like an acronym, an ABC, an alphabet soup, really, nobody's interested anymore, you know? And it's like, how do I get people to realize that you need to pay attention to this? You know, you talk about things like making charitable donations, and like, why do I have to give money away? I'm a charity. And then
as yourself, I know I'm cutting you, I'm cutting into,
it's fine.
Cutting, and I apologize for that. But there is, and I get tax-free savings account, TFSA, it's the same thing. But we are prone, generally speaking, whether you are new into this country or you've been here as long as I've been here, right? We are prone to go to the banks. And let's be real here. The banks are not doing anything for us. They are making money off our money. So a lot of my clients and Andrea's clients do have tax-free savings account and swear that it doesn't work. And they're right. It doesn't work, because where the bank is putting your money is into a regular savings account, which is generating less than 1%, which means it's generating less than inflation. So therefore, people look and they're completely discouraged. So why even bother, right? So then it's for us now to come in and explain to them that there are different types of tax-free savings account out there, and speak to everyone at their level so that they'll have more clarity, right? If you want to jump in, Andrea, and piggyback to what I'm saying, but that is the truth.
Yeah, that's so true, because I'm saying that, just as Taya says, these alphabets, right? So persons are not getting the understanding. Yes, it is a tax system that come out. What does it mean? What does it do for me? How does it work? Right? And that's why it's very important. Claudia said it's good to have a financial advisor. Statistics show that persons who sit down with a personal financial advisor, they get better returns and get better education on their investments, because now they are seeing, okay, this is what it does, this is where I need to do, this is what I need to go in terms of getting this thing to work for me, right? So definitely I agree with that.
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. So before we go into the specifics of the investment instruments that are available, I want us to look at the various areas of focus that we can even discuss as far as financial wellness, the continuum from financial wellness to financial freedom. What are the areas that are involved? What are the levers that you can work on? Investments and bank accounts are definitely one area. We will get there shortly. But what are the areas that definitely compose, this plan that is necessary, that we are encouraging everyone to have? Number one on my list is always going to be capacity to earn. So when you come into Canada as an immigrant and you're a medical doctor and you're licensed from Nigeria, I am not a medical doctor, but when you're a medical doctor licensed from Nigeria, suddenly you are no better than Dotun. In fact, you may be worse as a CPA than a CPA, because as an accountant from Nigeria, I get some recognition from CPA Alberta, and it may take me maybe 2 to 3 years to become a designated Canadian accountant. As a medical doctor, it's a different kettle of fish. So how do I take myself? You know, it's a challenging thing for me to be able to go from what I used to earn practicing as a physician in Nigeria to come in here, and effectively, as far as everybody's concerned, I am no different from Joe off the street, because I can't practice my profession, which means I can't earn an income unless I get a new set of skills. So capacity to earn for me is a big deal. Tayo, go ahead and talk about another area.
One big area that I want us to emphasize and talk about as a group here is literacy, financial literacy. And I say that, and I know there's a lot of, you put on the TV, Google, social media, everybody's talking about financial literacy. But what I'm finding is that we don't do enough research to get enough information for ourselves. And I understand, I'm also finding that sometimes you open some information and you're like, I can't understand this. Like I opened a bank account recently and they told me to sign the master service agreement. I don't know if I signed away my liver or my kidney, because I couldn't even read. I couldn't even read the fine print. I don't know what I just signed it. I signed it. I don't know what I signed. And how many times have you signed away something, or just because you couldn't research it? So back to Dotun, you come from a country, you're a medical doctor making good money, then you come into Canada here and you're like, I want to be a doctor, I made that mistake. I came in here thinking I wanted to be an accountant, and I wanted to be an accountant, but I could have done a whole lot of things that would have gotten me settled quicker, like, found a government job, and then go back to school. But I tried so hard to be this accountant, and then I finally got the job, and there was a recession. Right. And so, and then you get laid off. Well, that's a whole different story. But the point I'm making is I think a lot of us, maybe as immigrants, maybe we've not sat down. I think financial literacy for me is key. Not necessarily financial literacy, doing the research about what you want to be in 5 years, or in 4 years, or in 3 years. Do you know what I mean? If you want to save $1,000, do the research. Sit down and actually pick up a book and read. What I think we've lost in our lives, I feel, is that whole idea that you can't have time to kind of read. Remember back when there were no electricity and there were no TVs, and all you did was read. Even if you hated to read, you just read. And somehow, do you ever read dictionary sometimes trying to learn new grammar? We don't do that anymore. My kids don't even know what a dictionary is anymore, because you Google everything. And I think what is affected, I think for me, is literacy research, because some of these things they're never going to learn them in school, and some of us might have had the experience, right, from wherever we've been, to learn these things, right? But and even if you come here as a medical doctor, come here as an accountant, the rules are different. The rules are different. You can't do what you did in wherever you're from and do them here and succeed that same way, right? You can't even read and study for the same exams the same way. I come across pharmacy students all the time, and they're telling me the exams are difficult because, back in Africa, you read the entire textbook, you memorize it, and then you pray, and then you pass, if you pass. But here, there's a whole way of study, body of knowledge that you have to go through. It's all systemic. Do you know what I mean? And so, I guess for me, my biggest thing is educate yourself. And there's a question here that says, how do I find a finance advisor, and how do I trust that they have my interest at heart and not only thinking about fees or commission? I don't know. How do you do that?
May I just interject here, Dotun?
Go ahead, Andrea.
All right. So, Taya, I agree with you on getting the financial education. But there is so much information out there that sometimes this is information overload for persons. They don't know which one to work with, right? So yes, it's good to get the education. And I'd answer this young lady who asked, how does she know? If it is that you're going to go to someone, yes, you can look up, research that person, what is their background, how do they get paid? And of course, you speak to that person first. We say, okay, does this person have my best interest at heart? And we have seen from time to time, Claudia myself, that the banks, they don't advise us, right? They don't advise the clients. They just say, do this, do that. whatever, and you take it as gospel because, hey, they're the big five and you're new to this country and you're expecting them to have your best interest at heart, and most times they don't, right? So yes, it is good for that to get that education, but sometimes there's information overload, and then persons are just going to get despondent and say, listen, I can't be bothered, I'll just go with the big five and do whatever.
Okay, so knowledge, getting the knowledge you need and finding somebody who cares about you to give you the right advice is key. Are there any other areas of focus that we want to draw attention to, which we'll discuss in the process of this?
Well, I think, go ahead, Claudia.
No, continue, you go.
Well, I was going to say, in terms of, so we agree that financial wellness is basically how you manage your economic life, and that it will, once your economic life, once that wellness increases, then you should have basically a good quality of life, right? But then you have to talk to that client, you have to talk to that person, right? And ask questions, you know, what does financial freedom or wellness means to you? Does it mean less stress? Does it mean more time with my family? Does it mean taking vacations? And then when we sit and we talk to that client and we ask questions and we know what it is that that client wants, then now we can put that written game plan for them that will match their idea of what their financial freedom will look like to them.
So in designing that plan, what are the components that you typically would utilize to get them along that plan? So I'm talking about, we've talked about capacity to earn, we've talked about knowledge and information. Another one that comes readily to mind is a budget, right? Irrespective of your ability to Tayo, wait a minute, just let me finish. I know you want to jump on that and say no, but irrespective of, you know, your ability and your capacity to make a plan, you know,
game plan.
A written game
plan, which is what Andrea was alluding
in
to.
That plan
is that you've got to have, so stats shows that 96% of Canadians fail when it comes to money because of the knowledge. And that's what we're talking about today, right?
Yep.
That's the first thing. The second thing why they fail is because there is no written game plan. So it's great that we come to this country and we want all of these things, but you've got to put steps together, right? And you asked question a little while ago. So what does that involve? Well, we have to look at consumer debt, because if that's a big thing, right? We've got to figure out, well, one, do you have a debt, and do you have a game plan to get out of it? And if they don't, well, then that's where we come in place to help you to get out of debt, right? Without charging you, by the way, to get out of debt, especially if you know that you're in it, that you don't need somebody to pay, to charge you, or to, you know, to, so.
You don't take a commission from the debt repayment? Sorry.
Well, this is true. This is a true thing, because if you already know that you're in debt, why do you have to pay me to tell you that you're in debt?
You'll be shocked at how many people
I
will charge you a consultation fee for them to tell you.
I absolutely know.
I'm in debt. I'm going to pay you $200 to tell me that I'm in debt. I know.
Right. So that is why I stress that part, because that is a truth. That's very, very true. And that's a growing area, because consumer debt. So I want to make a point of saying that. So that's the first thing. What about your goals? Did I mention that? Everybody has goals. You come to this country because you want to achieve your goals. So we have to bring people back to the reason why. And let's put together a game plan to get you there. The budget sheet as well, because we overspend. Naturally, we overspend.
Well, there's not enough money for the budget. I'm sorry.
Which is what I said at the beginning, that we have an income problem, which means we're not generating enough money, right? So we show people how as well. That's a completely different topic today. I don't want to get into that part, but we show people how to generate extra income from their home. Again, don't wish to get into that, but that is one of the issues, right? Yes, we can put together the budget and there will be a shortfall. Nobody wants to work until age 65, much less age 70. Nobody wants to do that, right? So absolutely, they're going to need more income, but at the same time, people do overspend.
We have a
That
comment
is
here.
true. It should be. That is very, very true, but it's not.
well, so that sounds
Right?
to me,
It is
that sounds to me
not.
like the first step in this process is we need to bring you back to your reality, which is
Yes.
if you earn $5 and you
You've
want to
got
get
to
out of
stay
debt,
within
you have
that.
to stay under $5 so there's some money to put back towards debt payment
Ouch.
first.
I
So
don't want to be
that-
on the $5 level.
Well, nobody does. No one does. But if we don't work with, if people don't visually see exactly what is coming in and what is coming out, how are we going to help them? They literally have to see it so that they can like, oh my God, wow, this is where I'm spending my money, whether it be entertainment or food, for example, right? So we have to help them to tailor areas, tweak things a little bit, right? So that they can achieve their goals faster. And so, and to go back to yourself, what you said, which is so true, the fact that you went and signed all of these papers and you don't know what you're signing for, the system is designed that way.
Yeah.
To keep you confused, so that if the more they keep you in the dark, is the more that they will flourish. And every 4 years, I'm filled with numbers, every 4 years, there is something that the major banks, TD happens to be one of them, will go and they will, I forgot exactly what it's called, but they do a survey to see how confused Canadians are. Really, that's the bottom line. And they realize that we're getting more and more confused, and it's like, they're winning. Right?
Well, they're winning. They have huge profits and dividends.
Right.
Can you say that again? I want to hear that because, you know, I've totally believed this. Like, but I felt like I was a conspiracy theorist that the banks are designed to get me. I didn't. Now that you say that again, because it looks like for a moment I thought, no, this can't be true. Surely they like me.
It is very true. There's 2 powerful companies out there that do a survey every 4 years. I am trained on this, so I know. And it's to see how confused the consumers are, the Canadian consumers are. And so that is the goal. So the more confused you are, it's they're in a position to win. And it's not just you, it's right across the board, right? And so again, I say this all the time, is that you've got to find yourself a professional person. And we do not promote the bank. I'll be very honest with you. I do not promote any banks out there, because if your money is making less than inflation, you're at a loss. And they're the same ones to tell you that you're in debt, but they're the same one that's keeping you in debt. So I don't promote banks. Period.
Okay, so let me bring us back to our subject matter.
Right. Sorry.
So, in the midst of all this flurry, there are a few things I've heard in terms of areas of focus. One, you need to focus on your capacity to earn. So your income is important, because whether you like it or not, your fancy dreams will be paid for by whatever it is you bring in. So that's number one. 2, you need to know where you are at, whether you are in debt, whether you're break even, or whether you have a surplus. You need to know your current situation.
That's correct.
It is wisdom to have a budget. That's exactly what it is. It is wisdom to have a budget. Because, and when I say a budget, I don't mean that idea that's floating around in the gray matter between your ears. I mean something written down somewhere, whether it's an app on your phone, a spreadsheet on your computer, a website that you use. There are a whole bunch of apps out there. I have a friend who just put out something called Budgeter. Shout out to Teslim Salau out in Ontario. And that's basically a budgeting app developed by somebody within the community. Now, you need to understand where you are at and have a plan. Now, your budget, exactly. So the beautiful goals you had in mind when you left your country to come to Canada, You need to remember those goals, because I know it's very easy to get browbeaten into submission of everyday life in Canada and forget completely that your plan was to be a millionaire in dollars within the first 3 years of arriving in Canada. Well, reality check. It's 3 years, you're not there yet, but there is a possibility you will get there if you put together a plan and get to work in that plan. Now, another thing we've mentioned, which everybody has alluded to, but we have not hit the nail on the head, is consumerism, your habits. How do you spend your money? What do you spend your money on? Are you somebody that eats out three days a week? Sorry, 3 times a day, 7 days a week? Or do you make some meals at home? Are you always in an Uber, even though your car is parked at home and you're paying for it? Do you drive 200-300 kilometers away from your city every weekend simply because you have a fancy new car that can burn the mileage and you get back and it makes you happy? Where's the money going? I think that basically that's the question I'm asking. So those are all areas that in the course of this webinars that we are going to focus on. So in terms of next steps, there are actions that you can take. And I would like us to go through that quickly before we take questions. We'll spend the last 10 minutes taking questions. We're at the 41-minute mark. So Claudia and Andrea are financial advisors. ST, please note their names. You asked a question about financial advisors that have your interest at heart and are not thinking about their fees and commissions. I think these two are of that kind. That's why they're in this room tonight. If not, they wouldn't have made it here. I'm just saying that, by the way, but go and test them. If they fit the bill, come back and tell us, but I believe they are. So ladies, do you want to tell us a bit about what you do and how it fits into action points that can be taken?
We need to do consumerism with mental health when we talk about that. Because if I like my $2 cup of coffee, I like my $2 cup of coffee every morning.
Sometimes you have to have a little sacrifice.
Don't worry.
Mental health.
Make the coffee at home.
It doesn't taste the same.
We'll come back to your $2 cup of coffee. Just give it a minute.
Or a $7 cup of coffee.
As the case may be, yeah.
You know, mental health is all the rave these days. I don't want to go crazy. I may be in debt, but I don't want to go mad. Or go mad and leave the debt. I don't know. Which is it?
We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
So, ladies, you have 8 minutes to tell us about what you do.
Okay. So we already said what we do. So we help and provide financial literacy to our clients, help them with their written game plan, and help them to get from point A to point B. Show them how that can be done once we have that conversation with them. But from what we've seen, that most people don't plan to fail, right? They simply fail to plan. And we've seen the statistics talks about the challenges that our clients face, or Canadians on a whole face. And as Claudia mentioned, it's not a matter of is that they don't have the money, right? Lack of that enough money to do that. And, we'll see that they were talking about the banks earlier, everybody's taking a little bit out of their pocket, whether it be from credit card, a loan here, mortgage here, even before that person is able to say, okay, let me do this with my money, right? So that is one of the things that shows that the financial challenges that consumers or customers have. And, they tend to get frustrated. So we are able to show them now, a program that will place them in a comfortable position, whether it's to retire early, or to get that mortgage that they need, or to buy a new car, or even for vacation, right? Because even now we're seeing that inflation is a little bit over 8%, and it's the highest it's ever been. But then if it is that you are, going to the bank and getting that interest as less than 1%, you're already beaten in the race of life, right? Can you go to the next slide for me, please? All right, so we'll see as how most people tend to save, they go to the banks, right? And this is how we show our clients, instead of being, getting those pennies on the dollars from the bank when you give them your money, be part owners of the bank then, meaning you are owning part of that bank. So when the banks make money, you're automatically gonna make some money. Can you put that slide up a little bit bigger for me, please, Dotun? It seems a bit small for me. I'm not too big. Okay, so right, so we show our clients, instead of getting the pennies on the dollars, be part owners, bypass the traditional financial institution and invest in the global economy, so that once those companies that they are part owners of, whether it be the bank, whether it be a Tim Hortons or Starbucks for Ty who loves our coffee, then when those company makes money, you yourself can make money, right? We teach our clients, about the rule of 72, going further down on the slide, what do they know? We teach them how to know then how their money is gonna double. If you go with the bank and getting that 1%, the rule of 72 states that once you divide that interest that you're getting into 72, it tells you how long it's gonna take your money to double. Now, if you're going to the bank and getting, I give them 3%, for example, right? And you win the lotto, you get to $10,000. Is 3 into 72 goes 24 times, right? It's gonna take them that long, 24 years, for that $10,000 to double, right? So we are able to show them, the rule of 72, and be able to teach them about compounding of interest. That's interest on top of interest, right? So when they are choosing, so okay, when they speak to myself or Claudia, and we can show them all using, bypassing the traditional institutions, where they're able to purchase more than one companies now, earning anywhere between a 10 to 12%, they're able to double their money way quicker than staying at the bank, getting less than 1%. Next slide for me. Right, and we spoke about, compounding of interest. We do see, generally when we get our pay, right, we take that to the bank, or it stays in it and we just let it stay, right? But then looking at an example here, how this $10,000 can go in this example, with anything above that interest rate, you're able to double your money quicker, right? We want to ask the client, what kind of return that they need to reach their goals, and how they can invest them to reach them, right? And our mutual funds and segregated funds helps our clients to get those interest, proper interest, good interest on their money that they're working so hard, to put down in the bank and it's not growing. Next slide for me. So it's a matter of, thinking long, back up a little bit, Dotun, right? Yes, we're talking about financial wellness and financial freedom and getting that education. But I like to think that, getting the education is good, but then you have to put things into practice, right? They will say knowledge is power, but I say practice knowledge then, right? Knowledge applied, that is where the power comes in. And investing, you have to think about the long term. Yes, the market is down now, but that's the time that you want to be investing, right? I was about to go into my dialogue. All right, we like to say every mickle makes a muckle. And the little bit you keep putting down, that will eventually grow. You want to stay in it for the long run, based on that long-term goals that you have, and ride out the market, right? And I'm going to turn over to Claudia so she can explain a bit more now about the segregated and the mutual funds.
Actually, because we only have 2 more minutes left, I really want to go back to the rule of 72, because I want you to really understand the importance of this. When you're investing, I've been saying to you that it's very important to be in the right vehicle. And this is the reason why I'm so against the bank. So again, I want you to think, right? If you happen to have that $10,000 with a Royal, a CIBC, whoever it is, and they're giving you 3% interest, 3. How much is inflation, Andrea?
8.2, I think, percent.
8%. So if you're getting, if the interest that you're getting is 3%, right? And then 8, that means that you're in a negative right off the bat. Your money's not working for you. So what we want to do is put you in a vehicle where your money's working at 12% rate of return. So now if you take that 12 divided into 72, it equals 6. So now your money's doubling every 6 years. Yes. So imagine at 0, you're age 40. At 3% now, in 24 years, you are 64. That's pretty much retirement. And all you got is $20,000? And inflation is going up? Think about this for a minute. How quickly do you think your money's going to vanish? So now if we put you in a 12% rate of return, and we do that through 2 different things, whether it be a mutual fund or a seg fund. I understand we don't have the time for that. It's 12% guaranteed. In a mutual fund, it is an average. We average that out. And again, because we now have less than a minute, I can't discuss that part. But if we're invited back again, I will do it for you. Promise, right? So 12%, divide that into 72 equals 6. Do you see how your money's now doubling for you every 6 years? So at age 64, now you have $160,000. So think about this, please. Question for you guys. What side would you prefer to be on, the left or the right? Even though you can write it, I'm sure you're going to say the right side, right? Or at least you should. But realistically speaking now, what side do you guys really think you're on? Most likely the left, and getting less than 3%. So you can't win if you are not in the right vehicle. Can't. Right? And that's a lump sum, but we also teach people how to invest on a monthly or bi-weekly basis so that you take advantage of the ups and downs of the market as well. And that's called dollar cost averaging. So we brought this along because we know everybody wants to talk about money and how to make their money work for them faster. But the reality is we do much more than just this. That's why, yes, I'm a financial advisor, but I also like to call myself a financial coach because my knowledge doesn't just stop at investment alone. Okay, did I do it?
Yes, you did.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
Nice. Okay, so this
Your
is
passion is contagious.
Yeah,
say that again, please.
Your passion is contagious.
Okay.
I love your passion.
Thank you.
So this is the 52nd minute mark. We have 8 minutes left. We don't have many questions. Alex says, I want to live rich and die broke. If I leave money at departing time, is that bad? That is bad planning. That's his question. I don't know. We'll figure that out. And Blessing says, is 12% a guaranteed rate? Guys, let me ask you, is 12%
so there's 2, I'll quickly answer. So we do have 2 things, a segregated fund that does have a guarantee that's built into it. And there is mutual funds that I wanted to explain because people think that mutual fund is risky, but it's not. But if you're looking for guarantee, then the best place would be in a segregated fund because you've got extra bells and whistles.
Okay, so what we're gonna do is this. I should have elaborated at the beginning. This is the first of a series of 6 webinars that we're going to be running over the next 3 weeks. Between tonight and tomorrow morning, you will get an invite to the next one, which is happening on Sunday at 6 p.m. And it's going to be talking about assets, whether, what do we call assets from a personal financial literacy perspective. Now, what I'm also going to do is next Thursday, when Andrea and Claudia come back to talk about budgeting, we're going to probably have that and allow them to spend some time talking about what they are so passionate about. So that's because I can see it bubbling over and I know people are interested in this. So we'll do that. Now, I think we have been I want to see if we have any questions. We are going to spend the next 5 minutes taking your questions. So if you have questions, kindly put them in the chat. But I want to just go over why we are here and what we are doing once again. My name is Dotun Ayodele Bamishai. I represent Startupcourt. And Startupcourt is currently running a project called the WOORR, WORR, and it's called Its Way Out of the Rat Race. Now, our goal on this project is to share personal financial information with people, particularly in the immigrant Black community and the wider listening base that follow us. The goal is to educate, inform, and support the community to take action in a manner that results in a healthier, wealthier community. That's our goal, and that's why we're having these sessions. This is webinar number 1. There are 5 more to come. And then after that, depending on how interested you guys are and how excited you are, we may decide to have a live event or follow on with more webinars based on, how would I put it, interest, indicated. So that's where we are, and that's why we are here. And our collaborators on this are the Calgary Foundation. The Calgary Foundation is a not-for-profit organization here in the city of Calgary, and it's an organization that supports individuals like those of us at Startupcourt in driving and achieving our own chosen objectives and set goals. And we are carrying out this project in collaboration with the Africa Center. The Africa Center is out in Edmonton. They have active operations and an office here in Calgary as well. And their goal is simply to support Africans and African immigrants and people of the Black race generally in arrival, settlement, integration, and thriving within Canada. So that's high level where we are at. Claudia has dropped her phone number there. ST, take note. I leave that to you. I'm still waiting for questions. Alex, the name of the budgeting app is called Budgeter. Just type Budgeter into Apple Store. It will come up. Andrea has also dropped her phone number. So if anybody wants to talk to the financial advisors, kindly go ahead and reach out to them. Pending any questions coming up, I will, what do I do right now? I'm running a lot of fun. Tayo, over to you. Talk a bit about, your own experience and how you see these sessions benefiting the community.
I think this is actually very nice to have been put out by our funders, Calgary Foundation and the Africa Center. So a huge shout out to them. We're thankful for the opportunity. One thing I found in my own experience is that there's a lack of knowledge, either that we are too busy. No, there's not a lack of knowledge. The knowledge is out there, but we've not made enough time to go find the knowledge that we need and tailor it to our own specific situation. And if there's anything that I am passionate about, is about people making time out to find the information they need for themselves. And I am not, as much as I say that, I still struggle with doing it. And I want to encourage everybody, let's do this together as a people, as a community, as a body, to help ourselves, because the difference between you and the other person is knowledge, and application of that knowledge is basically knowledge. Blessing here is saying, is this going to cover real estate investment? Is it going to cover real estate? No. Is it?
No. But we'll be connecting you with people in the community as things progress, talking about investment. So if you're interested, there are a few champions that we're aware of that we can connect you with, but all those connections are at your own risk.
Both Andrea and Claudia have something to say. 30 seconds each.
Okay, yeah, I really do have to address this because he mentioned 2008. Well, I'd also like to mention the past 10 years that has been growth. So there is always 1 year. So please remember that it's been over 20 years that I've been in this field. And I realize every 10 years there's a market correction. once, right? So if you focus on that 1 year, you miss out on 10 in between. And when the market goes down, that's when things are on sale, a discount. So you're able to buy shares much cheaper because 2009, the shares went up twofold. So when you are investing in a mutual fund, it is not to put your money in today and take it out tomorrow. It is long-term investments.
Oh, that's knowledge right there. So I would not have known that.
Dropping Andrea, Claudia dropping bars,
Patience is a virtue. Oh, wow. You see, we're going to have to do this 5 more times. It's really interesting. Claudia, I'm going to go ahead and just save your number on my speed dial. We're going to become best friends now. Andrea, you'll be my second best friend. That way, all my questions are popping in my head at 2 a.m. in the morning. How do I become rich? I just call you. Hey, ideas. So forgive me.
It's all good.
Fantastic. So with that, it's 7 p.m. I want to thank everybody who has taken the time to be with us, to listen to us. I want to appreciate you because this is 1 hour that you could have spent either enjoying the beautiful sunshine or spent with your kids or with your significant other or by yourself looking at that your fantastic financial plan, right? And you've chosen to spend it with us. So we really appreciate you. And we hope that when you get the invite to show up again on Sunday evening at 6 p.m., you'll come and then we'll talk about assets and what you will consider assets from a personal finance perspective. It's going to be interesting. So we look forward to having you then. Once again, I want to thank Calgary Foundation and Africa Center for collaborating with us and supporting us to ensure that this event sees the light of day. And I want to thank my partner in crime, Emmanuel Oluwatosin, the man who likes to hide and act like he doesn't know what's going on.
Hi, Emmanuel.
Even though he's the puppet master, he's the one pulling the strings and making things happen. I want to thank him for pushing this project the way he has since we started it in June. Go check out our Instagram handle, WOORR, Way Out of Rat Race. We have massive content that's been going out since the beginning of June, talking about financial wellness, talking about financial freedom, talking about budgeting, planning, budgeting with no money. You don't have money at all, but you must still budget because you must budget from where you are, right? So massive shout outs to Emmanuel and everybody else who has supported us at Startupcourt getting the WOORR project going. This is it for this evening. We look forward to having you again on Sunday. Have a good night, everyone. Take care. Bye for now.